Dragon Age is full of colourful, interesting and beloved characters who throughout the series have become some of my favourite characters in all of gaming. Not to mention, they're pretty handy in a fight. Hi, this is Rima from Odyssey Gaming, and today I'll be looking at my favourite companions in the Dragon Age series. I've already covered a list of my favourite romances, however this list is about companions. To qualify for this list, the characters have to be useful party members, as well as great characters as a whole that I enjoyed having on my party. These are all my personal choices and I've not really ranked them, but with that being said, here we go. The Iron Bull may be one of my favourite voice characters in the entire series. Freddie Prinze Jr. does such a fantastic job capturing what has to be the most badass but genuine character in the Dragon Age series. From when we meet him to the end, the Iron Bull comes across as honest and straight up, advising you and letting you know where he stands. We've had Chimeric companions before in the form of Sten, but I feel through the Bull you get to understand his people a whole lot more, and in a personal sense, just making you want to learn more about them in the future. The Iron Bull is also just a great companion just to have in your party, acting as a massive shield if you're playing a ranged character and having some of the best conversational interactions with others in the party. Though the MABARI or dog characters are definitely different characters in a sense compared to your humanoid companions in the trilogy, I still utterly loved my MABARI Hound, who followed me throughout Thedas. Not only do you get to name your little buddy, but the dogs are invaluable in a scrappy fight. The dog also has some of the cutest interactions with other characters, for example, having a growling match with Sten, pissing off Morgan, and quote-unquote talking with Sandal, or even just bonding with Alistair. I was a little sad when we never got to see the dog return to Inquisition, though it was nice to see him return in the Trespasser DLC as a dog that captures Cullen's heart. AVELINE, who's named after a heroic female chevalier of the same name, is a complete badass. You as Hawke meet her and her husband when you're fleeing Lothering. Losing her husband, AVELINE is left with little choice but to join you. She's noble, righteous and follows her moral code even if it lands her in trouble, but she's extremely loyal. She sticks with Hawke throughout Dragon Age 2, even if she doesn't fully agree with their choices, lecturing them if need be, creating an almost sibling-like relationship. Also really like that you couldn't romance her, allowing you to help her find new love and discovering a softer side of her in the process. AVELINE is also probably my favourite party member in Dragon Age 2 in regards to skill. She acts like a tank that can draw damage away from Hawke and consistently staying strong, which is always very useful, especially when you're playing a mage like I normally did. I'll be honest, when I started playing Dragon Age Inquisition, I really couldn't stand SERA. She irritated me, but with time and patience I actually discovered an honesty and humour I really liked. SERA always tells you where she stands, always wanting you to remember the little people before you take actions that could see them hurt in the process. SERA also has this fear that you don't really get to know unless you speak to her and take time to know her character. She's scared of most things supernatural and has abandonment and trust issues, explaining her attitudes to other party members and you when you first meet her. Seemingly annoying, I was glad to learn that SERA was much more than I gave her credit for, especially as she seems to draw up some of the best dialogue and observations about her fellow companions. SERA's also one of the best skilled companions in Inquisition, being able to provide great range attacks, especially if you have her specialised in her Tempest rogue line. She can be savage in a fight, especially against those high dragons and larger mobs. Much like some of the guys on this list, I hadn't included MERRILL in my romance video because I felt she just missed out in my internal ranking. But that doesn't mean I didn't fall in love with her. MERRILL was frustratingly adorable. We've been given some great elven characters in the series, but MERRILL was the first Dalish elf we got to run around with, and hopefully not the last. And in that regard, we got to learn a huge amount about the inner workings of her culture and the isolation she sometimes feels. She also has an affinity for blood magic, that controversial skill which forces you as a player and as character Hawke to figure out where that line is. It's also very nice to see how Bioware advanced MERRILL's very minor character from the Dalish elf origin in Dragon Age Origins to the beloved character we meet in Dragon Age 2. MERRILL always left me with that question: was she just a misguided dreamer wanting the most for her people, or something more sinister corrupted by blood magic? Dorian is hands down my favourite companion in Dragon Age Inquisition. From the moment you meet him, either when you go to Redcliffe or encounter him at Haven, Dorian strikes you immediately. He's suave, funny, sarcastic, but so good-natured. Throughout the series, we've been told about the twisted, almost evil nature of the Tevinter Imperium. But when you meet Dorian, he shows you a very different side to their people. Someone who's proud of his heritage himself, and who has high hopes for his homeland, leading him to join your mission. Dorian also truly feels like a good friend to the Inquisitor, making me want to take him everywhere outside of Skyhold. Dorian, along with the Iron Bull, also has my second favourite companion romance just behind Garrus and Tali in Mass Effect 3, as they bicker and eventually come to form a great relationship by the end of the Trespasser DLC. If you specialise Dorian's skills and make him a necromancer, his ability definitely helps enhance the damage capabilities of the entire team, especially his haste ability that effectively slows down time for almost all enemies. Fenris is probably one of the most damaged characters you can encounter in Dragon Age 2, a former slave who's had lyrium infused throughout his body, allowing him to phase through solid objects. This makes Fenris extremely deadly and unique when it comes to his abilities, allowing him to phase through enemies and rip through them. Fenris has a lot of issues, understandably, due to his time in servitude. Being chased by his master, a mage from Tevinter, Fenris highly distrusts mages, which includes you if you play a mage, and your mage companions, in particular Anders. Joining Fenris in his quest to find his sister and take revenge on his former masters reveals how vulnerable and isolated he's become. Gaining his trust, friendship, and commitment can open you up to a very loyal friend or a great romance option if you choose. I don't think there's anyone funnier or more endearing in Dragon Age than Alistair. Your first companion in Origins, Alistair constantly uses sarcasm and humour to try and alleviate the stress of the situation the two wardens find themselves during the Blight. But much like many of the characters on this list and the series, Alistair isn't without his secrets, insecurities and quirks, as you learn throughout your journey in Dragon Age Origins. His complicated heritage coupled with his loyalty to the Wardens leaves Alistair and you with a precarious decision that shapes Ferelden throughout the trilogy. I guess Alistair's also probably one of the most memorable characters for me in the series. Who can forget the question, have you ever licked a lamppost in winter? That basically sums up Alistair for me, awkwardly charming. All the reasons I had Cassandra in my romance list pretty much translate over here too. But for those of you who haven't seen that video, Cassandra is fiercely loyal to the Inquisition and her faith, forcing her to question her belief throughout the events of Inquisition. But this self-discovery is one of Cassandra's greatest abilities. She has the self-worth to admit when she doesn't know everything, and also that her faith can't explain everything. She's also very bashful, a romantic, and one of the most naive companions, much to the joy of the Inquisitor and the other companions. But Cassandra's also probably one of the toughest, even giving the Iron Bull a run for his money. She's highly skilled with a sword and shield, or a one-handed heavy weapon, and that combined with her seeker abilities makes Cassandra pretty resilient in a fight, especially when it comes to tackling bigger foes. Almost the Garrus of the Dragon Age series, we're introduced to VARRIC in Dragon Age 2. He's incredibly smart, cultured and honest. Always looking for an opportunity, VARRIC is a very successful businessman and a spy master, giving him an unimaginable number of contacts. But VARRIC acts as the voice of reason in most conversations and situations in Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition, being able to recognize when the team are in a crappy situation with a simple, well, shit, but not panicking or showing any sense of gravity. He makes you laugh, helps the lead characters gain perspective, and has some of the greatest scenes in the series. He also has your back, especially when you play as Hawk, whether he's telling a tale, protecting you from the Seekers, or just inviting you to a game of Wicked Grace to take your mind off the impending evil. Plus he has his trusty crossbow, Bianca. So those are my favourite companions in the Dragon Age series, and much like my romance list, I couldn't include all the ones I love, having to leave out some of the great ones, but these companions to me, I felt had the greatest impact in the game when I was playing and tended to be part of my party more often than not. If you don't see a character you love, remember to check out the video I did on romance, which focused more on romance options, which will be linked at the end of this video. But who are your favourite companions in the Dragon Age series? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and please share this video to help the channel grow. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.